These are the top 7 muscle building mistakes. I'm Richard Fletcher of www.bulkupfast.com. At the time of recording, I'm 28 years old. Now, I spent many years of my life working out really hard in the gym with virtually nothing to show for it in terms of results until 2007 when I learnt the basic principles behind muscle growth. Now, the first mistake most people do is not having a goal. You've got to know why you're in the gym and what you're there for. What do you want to look like? Do you want to look like a Men's Health magazine model, or do you want like a big bodybuilder like Ronnie Coleman? Why are you there? Is it because you want to feel better about yourself? For health reasons maybe? Do you want to become more attractive to the opposite sex? Doesn't matter why, but you've got to know what you're going in there for. And write down your goals. Be specific about it. Don't say, I want to gain more muscle. Say, I want to gain 10 pounds of muscle in the next month. I want to gain 30 pounds of muscle in the next 6 months. Mistake number 2. You've got to do 3 simple things necessary to pack on muscle. The first one is only perform heavy compound exercises. Now, a compound exercise is an exercise that works more than one muscle in your body. These are things like deadlift, squat, bench press, bent over barbell row, military press, lunges and pull-ups. Perform these exercises consistently and you'll see yourself building up. Forget about the isolation exercises that only work one muscle. These are exercises like preacher bench curls and tricep pushdowns. Worry about these when you're cutting up later. Secondly, you've got to eat like a horse. If you want to build up, you've got to take on more calories than you burn, or you're not going to gain anything at all. So first thing to do is find out how many calories you're burning. Type calorie calculator into Google and open up one of the calorie calculators that comes up in the search results. And you'll be invited to type in details like your weight, height, age, and the amount of exercise you do in an average day. And then you'll get the results back saying how many calories you burn in a day. Now, for me, I burn 2,600 calories a day. So add on 500 to this, and you'll get the absolute bare minimum that you should be taking on in a day if you want to gain weight. So for me, I have to take on 3,100 calories every single day if I want to gain weight. Now in reality, you want to be adding on more like 1,000 calories. I actually take on 4,000 calories a day to gain weight. And thirdly, you've got to rest lots. Because when you perform exercises and you lift weights, the muscle is actually broken down. And it needs fuel and time to build back up again. Now the fuel comes from your food, so that's why you need to eat a lot. The time comes from rest. That means you need to get your 8 hours of sleep and you need to rest properly. So if you're back down the gym again next day after you've just worked out, you're not giving your muscles time enough to build up. If you do the 5 exercises on the screen 3 times a week, you'll see some pretty good results if you combine it with these 3 things. Number 3, you've got to have a separate bulking and cutting phase. It is impossible to bulk up without gaining some fat in the process, so don't worry about losing your abs. Just worry about gaining size, then you can cut up later. As a friend of mine said, you've got to build your house before you can decorate it. Bulk first, then cut up. Number 4, you've got to track your progress. You've got to keep a logbook. Write down exactly what you're doing so you know if you're improving. This is continuous improvement. That's what's necessary in order to build up. You're going to take a log of the date and time of day of training. You're going to take the muscles trained, the exercises you're using, the amount of weight used, the amount of sets used, the number of reps completed, the amount of time it took to complete your workout, the amount of time you rested, and your energy levels, how you felt during it. Number 5, you've got to take responsibility. Now, without wanting to go too deep here, you've got to take responsibility for where you are in your life right now, not just your physique. Most people out there, they want to blame everyone but themselves for all of their problems. They'll blame their parents because they're shy. They'll blame their boss because they haven't got a pay rise. They'll blame their poor genetics for their lack of muscles and their poor physique. When in reality, these things are all a hindrance. But there is somebody out there who's been where you are in your specific problem and managed to find a solution to that problem. So all you've got to do is find out what that person did and model it. Are you a victim or a victor? You've got complete control here. Are you a loser or a winner? Take control, take responsibility, and you can start having massive success in all areas of your life. Mistake number 6, using bad information. Who's an authority? There's a lot of parasites out there who actually know nothing about all this, who are just trying to make money out of you. What you need to do, as I just said before, you need to find someone who used to be like you are now and has managed to get to a point where they are at where you want to be, and just find out what they did. It's pretty simple. Again, there's no magic pills. There's no magic solution. A society revolves around a magic pill, but it doesn't exist. It's slow, continuous progress that gets results. Now, we're not talking years of progress. We're talking a few months. You can have a massive transformation, but you've got to be prepared to be in there for that few months rather than a couple of weeks. And be a skeptic. Don't trust anything you read. Watch things with a naturally skeptical eye, and even with me, if you don't trust what you're listening to here, I invite you to close this down. And finally, number 7, ignorance. Most people have a complete misunderstanding of the basic principles behind muscle growth. Muscles respond to a certain stimulus. They don't have a brain, they cannot choose what they respond to. So all you need to do is learn what this stimulus is, and you can massively stimulate your muscles to grow each and every time you hit the gym. Learn these principles and you are set for life. So I hope you enjoyed listening to this. I hope you've got something that you can take and use straight away. If you want to learn more, join me at www.bullcutfast.com. Thanks for listening.